Hello, friends and fellow thinkers. Today, we embark upon another intellectual odyssey that transcends the mere pragmatics of player selection. We shall delve into the profound philosophical foundations underpinning the construction of the ultimate fantasy football team. Much like the ancient philosophers before me, who meticulously contemplated the essence of the ideal state, we shall be exploring the enduring principles and the theoretical constructs that inform the creation of invincible roster. So trying to build your fantasy team, can involve a lot of statistical analysis, looking at equations, looking at probabilities of players succeeding. So I have developed 3 factors that I think are most important to a winning fantasy team. First is good chemistry. This, you want dogs, you want players that like each other, and you want players that you just have a good time drafting and watching. So the second is going to be a player that gets lots of touches. I'm only drafting guys that are going to be touching the ball a shit ton amount throughout the game. And the last factor is going to be threat players. Now, what exactly is a threat player? Well, there are certain archetypes in football you have to watch when looking at a player. The first major threat I'm going to go over is the deep baller, or the deep threat. This guy gets the big plays, big yards, big dog. Second is going to be the end zoner. Put this guy within the 5 to 7 yard liner, he's scoring touchdown. And last is going to be the hybrid, or all-arounder. These guys do it all. They're low-key lame, so I'd avoid drafting them. And I added one more in. Now this might be a little hard for the common NFL mind to understand, but it's called the beast threat. Now the beast threat is a little different from the other threats because only one person at a time can be the beast threat. And they can lose their throne and regain their throne, but it's kind of complex. But overall, the beast threat basically cannot be tackled by just one person. They run through people. They score a lot of touchdowns. The current beast threat is right now Trey McBride, but he could always lose that title, so keep that in mind while looking to draft a beast threat player. So, now that you guys understand the fancy basics of what makes a winning team, I'm going to show you guys how to build the best possible team for the 2024 NFL fantasy season. Now, for this team, you will need the number 1 overall pick. And I understand a lot of you guys don't have that, but I'm not building a playoff team or a winning team. No, I'm building the best possible team. So yes, I will be using the number 1 overall pick. Doesn't mean you guys still can't follow this guide. You just won't be able to take the guy that I take at first overall. But even if you don't get him, your fantasy team will still be amazing. So let's get right into that mock draft. So here we are. First pick, first round. It's not really a question here who we're taking. This guy is ranked number 1 ADP on every single draft website. Everyone's taking him over 1. It's not really a discussion this year. Here we go, man. I'm so excited to have this guy join our team. So excited to the fact that I've created an edit for this man to hype you guys up if you aren't already hyped to have this man on your team. Let's roll that edit to get some hype.
Sometimes you just feel tired, feel weak. And when you feel weak, you feel like you want to just give up. But you gotta trust in you. Try to find that.
Wow. The fact that we can get a player like that on our fantasy team, it's just unreal. Look at it. You know who we're taking. D-Moo, baby. Like I said, guys, we already knew who we were drafting. Here we go. Darnell Mooney. First overall pick. Lock that in. What's more exciting than that? So, for pick number 2, I talk about this a lot. I want to go for the positional advantage, right? Yeah, we can get a bunch of wide receivers and running backs. Like here we go. Saquon Barkley, Devontae Adams. Yeah. These guys are good, but they can be outmatched by any top receiver, any top running back in the game. But there's only a few tight ends that have the capability of scoring 20, 25 points, even 15 per game. So having that positional advantage is going to be huge for us throughout the season. That's why I'm going tight end with the 2nd overall pick, and we are going to go with Cole Kmet, the factory. Now, with this pick, once again, positional advantage, but this guy also has a secret ability inherent with only him. It's called the factor, right? Now, what this means is that anytime Cole Kmet scores a touchdown, he is guaranteed to score a touchdown in the next game, and the next game, and the next game. And eventually the streak does break, but he's guaranteed at least a streak of 3 touchdowns after that first one. Come on, it's too easy. Okay, guys, just wanted to stop the video one more time, then we'll get right back to it. Just wanted to tell you guys, yes, I did lose it all. I lost a fancy recording studio. I lost a nice soundproofing wall, a big microphone. But as you can tell, the Thinker is still here, still grinding. I may be in a basement now, but doesn't change the quality of the Thinker videos, as you will be able to tell throughout this video. So, I also lost the Liquid Courage sponsorship. They said I just did not convert enough sales from the last sponsorship, but that's okay. I still love them as a brand. Still my favorite alcohol. I heard they're 30% off, so still go buy some Liquid Courage. So refreshing. So because of that, I just want to sponsor myself today. I just made a new Twitter called @TheThinkerMVS. Go follow that. I post updates on videos and projects that I'm working on, and maybe some exclusive content that only Twitter followers will get. All right, guys. I hope you like and sub this video so I can get back on track as the Thinker and I can still keep pumping out these videos for you guys. All right, enjoy that mock draft. Here we go. So now that it's snaked back to us, we get another pick. Now, this is when you want to go right and get a good QB. Getting a good, solid QB is one of the most important things you can do in fantasy football. All right? And now you can wait a little bit and get a mid quarterback. He'll drop you 15, 20 a game. Or you can get a quarterback that's guaranteeing you 25 points per game. That's why we're going with Kyler Murray with the third overall pick, for our team. Draft him up. Boom. Now, for Kyler Murray, he just does it all. Kyler Murray can have the worst showing out. The Cardinals can lose by 15. But this guy is going to go out there, rush for a touchdown, get a 2-point conversion, and save his day, and somehow lose by 30, but drop 23 fantasy points. That's what I want in my fantasy QB. So let's start checking out our roster here. We got a receiver, tight end, and a QB. So we're going to want to go running back here. Getting an explosive running back is huge. We want to make sure we're getting a guy that's not only getting yards and touchdowns, but also, since we're in a PPR league, we're going to want to get someone that's always getting catches, bunch of catches. That's why you want to shy away from guys like Rachaad White and maybe Kenneth Walker. They're not as much used in the passing game as they have secondary backs on their team that are taking fantasy points away from them. That's why, for this pick, I want to go with a fullback to guarantee the most catches possible. We're going to draft C.J. Ham from the Minnesota Vikings. Here he is. We are going to go with C.J. Ham, running back, Minnesota, baby. This guy's touches to touchdown ratios are insane. He averages a touchdown every couple touches. Who doesn't want a man like this on your team? We're going snake back right to us, and we could fill up another running back slot right away, but I want to get that receiver and flex position starting to go up. Receivers have been taking over running backs recently in the meta of fantasy football, especially in PPR, which is what we are drafting for today. So we're going to go with the receiver here. This guy's a stud. He does it all. He's been on so many teams. We are going to go the Quez Watkins here. His name just sounds really cool. Quez Watkins. It doesn't get much better than that. For our next pick here, I would like to fill in our RB slot as it's still open. And, we do have C.J. Ham, great running back, but I want to fill out with an elite backfield for us in our fantasy team. So we're just going to go straight to the running back. Now, this guy, he was injured last year, but he's making a huge comeback. That's why we're able to get him this late. And don't worry, he's going to be just as productive as he was before the injury. I've been checking his training camp videos. He's looking really good out there. So we're going to go with the running back, Eno Benjamin. Boom, lock that in. Amazing steal. The fact that he got injured is the only reason we're able to draft him this late in our draft. But once again, great player. This is the kind of guy that just gets you 20 whenever you want it, right? let me just think of a random date from last season, right? So let's look up Eno Benjamin, fancy stats. Let's see, week 7, right? Boom. Look at that, 115 yards, scrimmage, a touchdown, I'm sure he had a couple catches in there. That's a good 23 fantasy points, and that's just a random date I'm picking off the top of my head, right? And this is the kind of guy you want from your running back, especially running back too. So the fact that we can get Eno Benjamin like that is just amazing. Okay, so for our back-to-back pick here, again, we're going to go with the flex pick. Now, this is kind of a tough pick for us. There's so many great options out there, but I want to go receiver for our flex once again because we are PPR. So we want to go with the receiver here. And looking at the receivers available at the moment, Keenan Allen, George Pickens, these guys have it in them, but they're just not as great as the guy that seems to be falling off other people's draft boards. I mean, this guy likes to field up, per his nickname, the Torch. That's right, baby. We are taking the Greg Dortch, Arizona Cardinals.
Greg Dortch, baby.
This guy, an amazing pick.
What?
This also gives us the stack, right? This is one of my 3 main keys about winning fantasy games that I've talked about, having that chemistry. Kyler Murray and Greg Dortch, they got that stack going. They got that great chemistry going. All right, so in this 8th and 9th round, we're going to get our first couple bench players. Now, just because these guys are on the bench doesn't mean they are absolutely studs, because they freaking are, right? Even though they're on the bench, they're going to be interchanged throughout the season, especially during bye weeks. And, some might overtake my flex or wide receiver. These guys are great. They're interchangeable with the starters almost. So we're going to go for the 8th round, and 9th round, we're going to go with the dynamic duo. We got Marvin Mims, 888, number 1. Now, this guy is the deep baller threat. Now, this is what I'm talking about when we say we want those archetypes. He's the deep baller, kick returner. He's going to give you a couple kick return touchdowns as well. We're going Marvin Mims. And his brother-in-law, Trent Sherfield, rah! That's what I'm talking about, baby. I mean, it doesn't get much of a better duo than that. I mean, it's just insane that we can get that. Those two dropping, I am doing AI and bot draft, but so maybe you guys might not be able to get that in a real draft, because getting the Mims and Trent Sherfield duo back-to-back is really just insanity. But we will chug along here with our next pick. Now we're going to want to start investing into tight ends, attacking that beast threat archetype I was talking about earlier, right? The more tight ends you have, the more chances you have in unlocking the beast threat. So with the first pick, we're going to take Tyler Conklin. Now this guy is a freaking sleeper for the beast threat. I mean, he was so close to so many touchdowns on that Jets team. Now that he has Aaron Rodgers back throwing to him, this guy's going to be unstoppable, and I think he's a great candidate to unlock that beast threat mentality. Okay, so with our next pick, I wanted to go with another tight end here. I really wanted to go with Tyler Higbee here. This is the kind of guy, once again, beast threat capability. But the problem with Higbee here is that, there's just some better options out there. I'd rather prefer wide receivers because you can only play so many tight ends. I wish, fantasy football would play with only tight ends. But unfortunately, we only get one tight end spot. And while these guys are great at being tight ends, wide receivers do tend to score more points than them. So while I do want to draft a guy like Tyler Higbee, Zach Ertz, Drew Sample, Hayden Hurst, those guys are unstoppable. But even Albert Ogupanon. But I'm going to have to pass on the beast threat capabilities here, just because the wide receiver meta seems to be the cool thing now, and we are building the ultimate fantasy team. So I can't just include people that I like just because I have a personal favoritism towards them. I'm only drafting players strictly based on how skilled they are at football. So we're going to pass on all those type of tight ends. Instead, we're going to go with the wide receiver here. This is Greg Dortch's boy, and now Darnell Mooney's boy on the Falcons. That's right, we're going to Rodamore. Oh, here we go. Oh, they spelled his name wrong on the draft, but that's all good. Yeah, lock him up and wait for these MickerDog AI bots to go. All right, so looking at our team, we're looking pretty freaking stacked right now. Pretty insane, I'd say, as we go in to draft our last guy. And this guy is going to be the Dustin Duvernay. Here we go, baby. Lock him in, Dustin Duvernay. Okay, they got Devin Duvernay. I don't know who this is. Maybe his brother. So I guess Dustin Duvernay must have retired just in the past couple minutes, I guess, since I've been making this video, because I had drafted in my previous mock drafts. So yeah, I guess we can't do Dustin Duvernay today. If you want to go get his brother, Devin, or cousin, maybe they're not even related. I don't know. Anyways, I guess I have to go with my backup pick here. Still a strong backup pick. we are going the MVS, baby. MVS with our last skill position slot. I mean, touchdown in the Super Bowl. What else to say about this guy? He's a deep ball threat. You know, great pickup. It's amazing. Here we go. All right, guys. So that pretty much wraps out our skill positions here. As you see, we're looking pretty insane. I mean, we got a stack going. We got the best wide receiver, #1 pick in the game. We got a bunch of ex-Cardinals and current Cardinals players. One of the best teams in the NFL. That's what you want to see from there. So now we can go kicker and defense. Now you guys think these might not matter much, but I found and I've scouted an elite kicker prospect right out of the Texas Christian University. Here we go. Ethan Mooney. Here we go. Draft. Now this guy is a super sleeper for kickers, guys. I know it says he's a free agent, right? But don't worry about that. Just trust me, he's going to get signed to a team. And I've heard he has never missed a field goal. I don't know why I'm so attached to this guy, Ethan Mooney, but he's just a great kicker. You have to draft him. You know, I did want to go Jake Moody, but I've scouted this guy, Ethan Mooney, and you have to go for him. So once again, you know, we could draft a skill position player here instead of going with the defense and just pick up a defense right before the season starts. But with this such an elite bench already, I don't see the need for that. So we're going to go get one of the best defenses in the NFL. We're going with the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, come on. Once again, back to those 3 core factors I brought up. You want that team chemistry, and having more Cardinals on your team is just going to help you out more. All right, guys, and now you can see our team is finished. You can see they're already giving us an A+ for our draft grade, and that makes sense with the caliber of players we have on our team right here. I mean, this team just looks unstoppable. I mean, this is going to be undefeated season. This is going to be championship winner. If you're on a dynasty and this is your first year, I mean, you might win the next 10 titles in a row. None of these guys look like they're slowing down at all. And let's just go over a few. You know, we got the backfield of CJ Ham, Eno Benjamin, insanity. Even our bench, Marvin Mims, and Trent Sherfield, Ra. I mean, it's just kind of insane. Greg Dortch at our flex. We get the 2 beast threat candidates in Cole Kmet and Tyler Conklin. All right, guys. I've created a little edit for this video, for this team, just to show you guys a glimpse of what you can be looking at if you draft this team week by week. Now roll that edit, get hype. This is a peek of what you're looking at every week for the entire fantasy football season. Let's go, baby.
Paga la cerveza,